Hi loves, it's Coach Kara here. So I wanted to do this video outside of nature. If you're new to my channel, when it comes to self-care and self-healing type videos, I kind of like to be out in nature, so it just makes the whole experience less painful to process, okay? So today I wanted to talk about betrayal trauma. Now, and I'm about to take this little hike, this little trail. I've never been on this trail before. So just wanted to say that before I begin. So when it comes to betrayal trauma, unfortunately, everyone will experience some form of trauma in their lifetime. And I mean, it's inevitable, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be relationship related. It could be work related, some form of interpersonal relationship, like with a friend. But you will be betrayed at some point. And I think as people, we tend to not really acknowledge our trauma as much. We don't recognize that it starts very early on. Look, for instance, myself, I experienced childhood trauma, okay? But as you grow older, I've learned to deal with that and just understand what happened and then just kind of like move on. So there's nothing more I could do about it. But yeah, and when it comes to relationships, people, with trauma, it could start off as something just as small as a lie, okay? It could be your very first relationship, your second, just a series of lies, right? Deception, manipulation, those are all forms of betrayal. And the reason why that is because initially you put your trust in someone. And, well, when it comes to trust, I wouldn't recommend fully trusting anyone, okay? Not 100%. I mean, I don't even trust my daughter 100%. I don't know what she's doing right now. It's just one of those things. And when we don't put our full trust in someone, you're less likely to understand a circumstance when betrayal arises, because you're giving that 5% to them. Like, okay, so I understand that you're this type of individual. You've been this way with other people, so I can kind of expect for you to mistreat me in some way at some point. You understand? So there's that room, there's that leftover percentage that you want to leave for that lack of trust. And with betrayal, people, it will creep up on you, and trauma will surprise you. So when we speak of relationship traumas, how do we identify it? So again, in your relationship, it could be gaslighting. Oh, well, you said that we were supposed to meet up at 7:30. Oh, I never said that. See, you've been too busy lately. You're overhearing me. You're thinking too much, and you're too busy. I never said that, but you did. You said we'll meet up at 7:30. Well, I was going for coffee. I never knew that. See, right then within itself is a form of betrayal. Any acts to where you have to defend yourself or feel as though you are being blamed. And that's another thing when it comes to betrayal. If you're with the wrong type of individual or someone with malignant tendencies, they have the tendency to perform acts of betrayal. This is what you're going to get. It may start off small, with small things like that, like gaslighting. Gaslighting is not small, but trust me, there are other larger and major acts of betrayal. All right, guys, so I've never been on this particular trail before that's coming. I feel like I'm walking into the belly of the beast. Okay? So so just stick with me. So yeah, it could be gaslighting, a little series of lies that just build up. And when you move from relationship to relationship, you are harboring so much trauma. You may not even realize it until, again, the inevitable, the big one hits. Someone cheats. That's when all of your other little traumas come to a head. And so what do we do at this point? When we identify that we have been traumatized in a significant amount of way to where it changes you, like suddenly. Now there are two types of people who will deal with the trauma. Either you're going to be like myself, if I've ever been cheated on, I'll just simply just walk away. Okay, I will walk away and process the situation, find out what happened. Hello. And then try to make sense of it all, identify what that person is, and then move on. Okay? It is what it was. For others, I don't understand. It's like freezing out here, and this guy is like fishing. OMG. So, but anyways, so some other person who may not know how to process and internalize their emotions may have a grave effect. Betrayal can affect someone in like the worst way, to the point to where they may not know how to identify what it is that they feel. So they may avoid talking about it, externalizing it with someone, may close themselves off because of the shame of it all, the guilt. Some people may even blame themselves, or just completely shut down and become antisocial. But what they're doing is they're trying to find a way to cope. Listen, people, when I say trauma is something that you really don't want to play with and harbor, I mean that, because it can have a grave effect on your mental health and your emotional stability. Now, Khloe Kardashian, and I know you guys probably say, well, she always talk about the Kardashians. Well, they are great examples, okay? So Khloe, a few weeks back, was saying how, what is this? She was saying how she's been traumatized from a series of infidelity, which is, quite explainable. But here's the thing, people, and this is why I say, regardless if you have strength or not, your brain, your instincts kick in and they warn you to get out. They tell you, hey, you shouldn't be in this. You should no longer pursue this. You're better than this. Where is your self-worth? Where's your self-respect and your self-love? But we always listening to that damn heart versus thinking logically and saving ourselves from any sort of traumatic experiences. No, many people don't do that. And so ultimately you find yourself in a series of relationships to where you're traumatized constantly. It's like a recurring pattern of just trauma. And why is that? Is it because we're choosing the wrong people, and which I'm about to do another video about? Or is it because we just have a lack of esteem, self-love. Self-love trumps it all. We'll just say you have a lack of self-love because you wouldn't allow someone to continuously abuse you. It is abuse, people, when someone intentionally tries to traumatize you. That is a form of abuse. Now, either you're going to deal with it or you're going to move on and be a better person. Again, but you have to identify and know when you're being traumatized in order for anything to be done about it. Okay? You just can't let these sort of acts continue. You will never gain respect. They will never love you the way they should. That's not even love. Okay? When someone says, I love you, I'm sorry. That's not love. You don't do that to people that you say you love. I mean, that's just factual. So how do we heal our trauma? You have to first accept it, that you have been traumatized, that you have been abused, and you have been taken advantage of, and you have been hurt, and that you allowed someone, you have to take ownership as well. You allowed someone to come into your world, into your life, into your heart, and cause this level of disruption. You have to accept that first. And then determine where did all this go wrong. Because if you've been together 5 years, more than likely, if things got rough, you've been breaking up for the past 2.5 years. So you have to think in that way. I don't want you to self-blame and blame your partner. No, just find out where the problems began. You know, one of you got too busy, or both of you. Life took its course. Things began to happen. You began to separate yourselves from each other. Or you just was with the wrong person to begin with. Let's just start there. And they took advantage of someone who was not as strong of a person or codependent, to where they knew they could do certain things and get away with it, you know, or be given 20-second chances. So we have to acknowledge and accept the terms of what transpired. Identify with it. Speak to someone. Talking to someone would be the best therapy. I promise you. It doesn't necessarily have to be myself, but speaking to someone. And many times when I do my coaching sessions, I would say maybe 1 out of 5 sessions, someone could have such a trauma that they've harbored and have built up over a long period of time, to the point to where I start pointing out other little things that they hadn't identified or acknowledged. And they become so overwhelmed to where, oh no, can I get another hour? Oh my gosh, I had no idea that all of this was built up in me, and I was harboring all of these emotions, and this happened. Yes. Every time I have a session regarding someone's trauma, that happens. You have no idea the amount of buildup that could be in you. Which is why you need to heal between each experience, between each situation, between each relationship. Allow that time to process what happened and to heal yourself. You have to do this. It's imperative for your well-being. This way you're not on medication or having to sit before someone on a weekly basis. Take money that you've worked hard for, that you could be saving for, I don't know, your dream vacation. But you're sitting on the couch talking to someone and paying them X amount of money for problems that could have been dealt with long ago. So just by doing the necessary work on yourself, identifying what those problems is, cry. As long as you get it out, you talk to someone, you will be fine. Betrayal trauma will happen to all of us. It is what we do with that when it does, okay? It's not just gonna go away. Many people deal with trauma for many years, and the reason why that is because, well, we don't exactly heal 100%. We don't. And I think that is because, well, it's like muscle memory, you know. We have triggers that remind us of what was and where we were in that time and how and where we are now. Just to keep us on our toes. Like, remember what happened then and how you reacted? But you're stronger now? Yeah. So with that, betrayal will come. Just know it. It has already come for most of you out there watching, unless you're just like fresh to the game and you had an amazing childhood. Kudos and our blessings to you. But just be prepared for it when someone does decide to betray you. Okay? Accepting it is the first step. And then determining what transpired, acknowledging that, coming to terms with it. Hey, it happened. It may happen again. But you are in control of your own path, your world. It's your life. It is your heart. You are in control of what happens, okay? Nothing can happen unless you allow it. All right, guys? So I'm almost at the end of my little trail, or I could take this shortcut here. But I wanted to come to you all with that today in regards to trauma. I just want you to take a look back and see what has happened in your life and how did you react to it? Was it positively? Was it negatively? What was the outcome? Or are you considered the bag lady? We don't want that. All right? Unpack. Unpack, unpack, unpack. All right, my loves. That is all for now. I thank you so much for joining me. If you need further coaching assistance, please reach out to me. All of my information will be linked down below. I thank you for joining me always. That is all for now. Until next time.